Hello, theme park fans, and welcome to episode 76 of the E-Ticket Report. My name is Chris Wakefield, and I am joined by my co-host, Ryan Barr.
How's it going?
We're going to doing that again, yep. Tommy Hawkins.
Hello, I've got more than 4 gig RAM. Thank you.
And Jalen Harvey.
Evening.
Perfect. Awesome. We are off to a great start.
Mute as you mean to go on, Jay?
Oh no, evening. That's what you say down here. You don't say. You can say evening, but you say evening.
Yeah, we didn't catch that the first time, but we have a lot to get to in this week's show. A lot has happened. We have something special for you later on, but first we want to talk about some late breaking news. For whatever reason, Tommy is obsessed with the pseudo. We got dates. We didn't get dates. We got a time frame for Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy, and Tommy thinks it's relevant enough to talk about this. So, Tommy, the floor is yours.
The floor is mine. Thank you. So we've been getting that wind from various people that the 50th has flopped on its arse so much that they need some rides to open in the next 12, 14, 16, whatever the difference between October and now is, add 18 months, right? So it seems like they decided that maybe it might be a good idea to put a bit of a rush on Cosmic Rewind and maybe shoot for Memorial Day kind of time frame to open. And then we've obviously this week we've seen a lot of movement. They've started installing the Xanadu, whatever it's called. What is it called?
The ship,
space,
the
Xandar.
Oh, the Xandarian
the Xanadu
ship.
spaceship. They've installed the
Is it the
Xanadu,
Nova Corps? Is it the Nova Corps one? I don't know.
the Nova
ship
Corps,
from the
right.
first
Xandar
movie.
is the
The
planet.
ship from the first movie. The ship from the first movie.
The fucking
Yes.
cool star-shaped ship, yeah? So they've started installing that. You know, things are finally moving. We got footage done sooner than what was expected. So it's looking like I don't want to jinx it, touch wood, I may, very, small letters, be able to ride this when I come in 100 days or whatever. Probably not. I'm expecting it to open fucking 2 weeks exactly after I leave, because that seems to be the standard thing every time I come. And because we've got installation of panels and shit like that on Tron, it looks like we might actually get this ride this century or this decade. It's a possibility that it might even be ready by October, early November 2022. As shocking as it's like, I feel like I'm laughing at myself when these words come out of my mouth, but there is a chance that ride will be open by the end of this year.
Wait, hold on. Tron will?
You're talking about Tron?
Yes.
There's no way. You're dreaming.
Come
There's no way.
on, man.
Tommy, you're believing the Disney PR hype.
I am
Hell,
not
I'm the
believing
type of
any Disney PR hype. I'm believing my eyes and what I've seen and looked at in terms of how long it physically takes them to build this ride, based on the fact that this is a clone and not some new, exciting, brand new thing, but a mere clone that up until this point, they've taken a shit ton of time for various reasons. But we are in end stages where there is a fixed time when they built this ride before, that after a certain number of months of starting to build the roof, then the rest of the ride came following after, and it's around 10 to 11 months.
Let's make a bet then. When do you think Tron will open? Let's make a bet. Before, or do you think it will open by November 1st?
You asking me if I think it will be open by November 1st?
2022.
No, I think they will open it in February 2023. I am saying the ride could be ready, as in they could open the doors on November the 1st. Whether they'll choose to or not, that's another question. We're talking about a company that had a ride standing but not operating for 6 whole months. That ride was ready for 6 whole months and they didn't open it. They needed the capacity.
And then they had a ride that was
They
finished.
still didn't open it.
They had a ride that was finished that they had to go back and fix. They had lost the code for Runaway Railway. Pretty close to, while they were testing it. They just lost all the code to the ride. And that's what delayed it. to the ride
What?
system. So the only other ride that I've seen where we got ride vehicles on trucks coming onto property and didn't open within that year was Runaway Railway. So I don't know. I think Tron definitely could open. It is up to Disney. They could very well open it this year. They could have
The
opened it
heavy
last year. They
caveat
could have
that
opened it the year fucking before.
The heavy caveat that I put in the tweets that I've put out about it is that it's 10 months, starting the clock 10 months, but that's Chinese construction. Yeah. They can throw money at it. There's whispers that they are panicking and they're thinking about maybe, maybe we might throw some money at it, that they feel that they might need to put a rush on. But a Disney rush is 10 months. A Disney rush isn't 2 to 3 months like you would think, like any other business would
Yeah,
operate
damn
at.
Chinese rush will get you a whole theme park like Beijing.
And one of
Universal.
the issues with Tron and Guardians is these are both roller coasters, and where Disney is seeing a decrease in bookings right now seems to be with their families, large families of 3, 4, 5 people. So opening these rides there will be great, sure, but they won't bring in the families the way some other e-tickets might.
Those same families that are all distraught that My Disney Express is going.
Yeah, the Magical Express.
I'm somebody who gives the benefit of the doubt like a motherfucker, but I don't think Tron finna be open in November. I really don't. I mean, you guys could be right with they're panicking, throwing money at it or whatever, but man, come on. It's come on. They
It's not
let
gonna
it
happen.
sit there.
It's not gonna. If someone wants to take that bet with me, get at me on Twitter at
Yo,
Wakefield.
I was a listener of this podcast. I'm not going to get into some stupid bet. And I'm a Disney cynic. I'm not a pixie duster. If I'm saying it could physically be ready in 10 months, that's me being objective. But the sort of cynical side of me says this: it could be ready in 9 months, but Disney. ... That's all I need to say about that. If it was Universal. If there was a fixed time frame that we like, let's say they were building Jurassic World Dark Ride, and we knew that at Beijing that it took X amount of time between certain thing happening and then it being open and everyone going on it, then you could put good money on it that it would be ready in that time frame. But you can't do that with Disney, unfortunately.
Right.
And let's talk about the fact that actually Universal are about to start their 5th construction project or ride opening in the time it's taken since they've announced those 2 rides. So what happens? All right, Chris, here's a question for you then. At the end of the year, say that it is by some miracle that you're not willing to believe in, that it's ready November 1st. What do we have after that? Because once those 2 rides are open this year, what have we got? We haven't got nothing. Nothing in the pipeline. Nothing, no shovels in the ground. What have we got? What happens there?
Tiana, that's the only thing. Tiana's like the only thing that we have.
If that even makes it over
That's
here.
it.
Disney has been so averse to refurbing and retheming some of their rides the way they do at Disney World or at Disneyland with the overlays and things like that. So it's I still have my doubts that
I don't
Tiana
know
will
about
make
that,
it to Walt
Chris.
Disney World.
I think we both know white guilt can get some things moving. White guilt can get some things moving.
But
It can get you a random piece of concept art that you had no idea that you were going to do, just drawn up in 24 hours after looking at some
But white
guys.
dollars are very different.
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know. I think they might actually do this just to shut
I don't
everybody
buy
up.
into these bullshit conspiracy theories of they're going to wait and see how Disneyland does before they commit to
No,
Florida.
no.
The only people that are going to wait is the nation that doesn't really give a fuck about the ramifications of how racist the ride is, because the Disneyland Resort in Tokyo are just going to be like, whatever, if it doesn't do well, we don't want it at our park. Like, They don't care about that. But for me, it's just a case of it was announced far, far earlier than they anticipated or wanted to, and it's going to take an age for it to be done. It's just that's the way it is. We got to get to the end of the 50th anniversary before they can even think about shutting one of their like blue ribbon rides, and they've got to get Tron open. So both of them things have got to happen before they even think about starting the work on the ride, and then it's a massive like 4 or 5 year wait after that. But the point I'm making is really we haven't really got anything else lined up. We can look forward to Guardians, we can look forward to Tron, but that's it. That's where the we're at the end of the road. You know, there is no more.
Well, hold on, and this is me. I'm not even saying they're really gonna drop something there. I don't know, but I just know historically speaking, they do say something, and Walt Disney World tends to dominate these events in terms of new stuff coming out that may or may not happen. I mean, we got D23 going down in September. I don't know if they're going to drop something, but historically they do. So
what did they drop in D23 2019 that's built now, that's ready to go?
Shit. That was like 5 years ago, dude. I don't have any I have no idea of time. Let me hop on the Wikipedia.
The rides
really
that we've
quick.
just discussed were from the previous, which was 2017.
Yeah. Were
Am I
they?
right?
Yep.
Does that include?
Yeah.
Really?
This
Does that include like
Yes,
space?
because Guardians was already supposed to be open.
Hold on,
Don't forget.
give me a second.
Disney fired James Gunn. Guardians.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Guardians
would have
came out. Guardians
you're right.
Volume 3 would have come out the same time Black Widow did if the pandemic didn't. You know, if they didn't fire James Gunn.
But let's remember that they wasn't going to open the ride until August of last year. So despite all of that, Guardians 3 would have been open and out, but the ride itself, they wouldn't have opened until August last year. And from the sound of it, they wasn't planning to, potentially, if it is a clash with the Shanghai exclusivity clause, that they wouldn't have been able to open Tron until that time either. So
I want to move on now to our next topic, but before I do that, I want to invite a very special guest, everyone's favorite Peter Parker, and one heck of a paleontologist, if I do say so myself, Mateo, our special guest here.
Thank you for having me.
Famous from Twitter.
Because the podcast wasn't white enough, so we thought we'd add a bit more.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So
heavy sarcasm there, by the way, everyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mateo just went to the West Coast, had his first trip out to Disneyland and Universal Hollywood and some amazing places. We'll talk about that in a second, but first I want to get to a bit of a breaking news because, fellas, just earlier today we saw exclusive photos, I can't even say this with a straight face, of the bus, the van that will be taking guests to Batu from the Galactic.
I can't see what's wrong with it. Jalen Harvey.
Right, look.
I haven't even seen it.
What's wrong with it? I'm not even supposed to see the bitch when I'm inside of the thing.
God.
I'm not mad that the rest of Batu looks like the back of an Amazon fulfillment center. Like, if you can't see it, like, who the fuck gives a shit? Like, a back of Batu. Like,
because you're not paying $7,000 to be human trafficked over to Galaxy's Edge, are you?
How do you know you're going to be human trafficked, son? You think you're going to be hog tied?
They're bundling you into the back of a truck.
It could be plush on the inside.
They're bundling you into the back of a truck. What else?
On the inside.
What
you act like this thing is going to be like this is a Chinese murder van. Like, you're just getting picked up out of nowhere and just dragged in. Like, no, this isn't the smuggler experience.
Mateo, I'm going to share my screen here, and you can see.
Okay.
Those of you listening obviously can't see it. You can go look at the photos. This is the fucking van.
It's a box truck.
It's
literally just the back of a house.
It's the driver's cab at the front that makes me laugh. You can't even
Wait a
talk
minute,
to the
is that
driver.
official?
They're completely separate.
Is that official concept art? Can you go back up?
Yeah, go back up. Show the concept art. son. Show the concept art.
This
Is
is
that
the
real?
This is the concept art.
Go up again.
Yeah.
That just like looks like a stripped like U-Haul with like no design on it.
But you're not supposed to see it. Like,
I get you're not supposed to see it, but somebody's gonna see it and they're gonna wonder what that is.
The whole entire thing was like an assisted living facility, and y'all.
To be fair,
These are the people that invented animatronics. They
You're not
invented
supposed
them.
to
also
see-
put the haunted mansion in the goddamn warehouse, and I'm not supposed to see that shit.
Oh my god. So
You're not supposed to be able to
like
see.
the back of it don't look like a packing plant. Like, good
I just
God.
imagine you get in and here. The
Man, if I get
lorry's starting up.
Man, if I get inside the thing and it looks like
Don't worry, guys. It's just the warp drive warming up.
Good God. Like, Jesus
So-
Christ. Oh,
that's what we got, and of course we know it's not meant to be seen from the outside, but it just looks funny. It just again, it's Disney did the cheapest thing possible, and you have to see the photos. But it
I will
looks
say,
so
I thought it was going to be a bus. I thought they were going to at least retrofit the buses. I thought it was going to be.
But what kills me, Jalen, is everyone's going, oh, wait till you see the concept art. Look at the concept art. We already know from the hotel that the hotel doesn't even look like the concept art. So why would you trust this bus to look like the concept art?
I don't think it's going to be a one-for-one recreation, but I don't think it's going to look like some meat locker somewhere. Like I'm out here about to go to the docks, and I'm about to be, sold and processed. It's not like,
Ryan,
you think I'm going to subject myself to that?
Share your thoughts.
Everything?
Oh my gosh.
I honestly thought the only reason they were going to use these vehicles is because there was going to be screens on the inside, and it doesn't look like that there's going to be screens in there. I don't know why they chose this vehicle, honestly.
But here's the kicker. Here's
So
the kicker.
random.
Here's the kicker. Someone on Twitter said that, well, you see, Chris, they did this because people, if they didn't, would be running the bus off the road. And what else, Tommy? They'd run it off the road and they would be honking at the bus.
There was a safety issue because there's no windows. And I'm just like, but what's name? I've forgotten the bloody name. Hogwarts Express travels at like 7 miles an hour and you get locked in the cabin, but then you can get out. So like, and it's literally driving 1,000 feet. That's all it's driving. It doesn't need to drive fast. It's
not even going on a public road.
It's going backstage. It's going literally 1,000 feet. That's all it is. Like, and but when we tried to do it, there was a safety issue. Come on, like.
I'm sorry. That's better. My camera. Anyway, sorry, Tommy.
I just think it's just people are quite quick to move the sort of goalposts and be like, oh.
I think it's even funnier that they said today that if you get there too early, you have to go to Disney Springs. You have to go to Disney Springs. You can't go. You can't stay here. You can't.
Area or something like a good like.
No, that's insane though. Surely, like worst case scenario.
Don't get out of your car. Don't drop off your luggage.
You can, they can have like a temporary parking space and let you like go to Hollywood Studios or something. Surely there's a little area at the front of Hollywood Studios they can just set up and be like, okay, right, you're early for check-in, but feel free to enjoy the park before you. Or they're going to be like, no.
Nope, go to Springs.
Yeah.
Why though?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to get that in and get your thoughts real quick from everyone. All right, we got to move on. Mateo, our lovely guest, you recently went out. Was this your first time in California ever, like at all?
First time.
Wow.
First time ever.
Wow. So we want to get a trip report from you. I reached out to Mateo while he was out there and said, I got to get you on because we were living your experience. Tommy forgot the mute button. We were living your experience while you were out there. So if you want all the details, first of all, where did you stay when you were in California, when you were in SoCal?
We stayed 2 different places. And when we first landed, we stayed at the Sheraton Universal. We stayed there for like one night. So that was like from when we like landed and then like Universal the next day. And then for Anaheim, we stayed at like a Marriott Spring Hill Suites. That was like back of Disneyland. You could see like Pixar Pier and Cars Land from, which is pretty cool.
So I need to know, how many of these 3 did you go to? In-N-Out, Del Taco,
no,
and Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane's, yes.
Okay.
We have Del Tacos in Orlando, so I was like, I felt no need to go to Del Taco, but Raising Cane's and In-N-Out were just like life changing.
I did not know that.
Talk to us about your first In-N-Out, because this is the first thing everyone does now when they go to SoCal.
Yeah, that was the first thing. It was the first thing I wanted to like eat. I was like, that or Cane's. I didn't even know if Cane's was like on the West Coast, but I looked it up. I was like, okay, that has to also happen at one point. We went to In-N-Out and I was like feeling just like full. I didn't want to eat at all. but I was like, you know what? In-N-Out's here. It's my first time. I have to do it. And I'm ordering and I'm like feeling like already sick because I'm looking at the menu. I'm like, this is no. And I was like, I have to order it animal style because that's the only way you can do In-N-Out. And I order, I think it was called like a double animal style. And then I got that. That was like the best fast food burger I've ever had in my life. It was like I love my fast food, but that was the only burger that like felt like that was better than most like genuine like sit down burgers I've had at like Disney World. Like it was perfect.
Well, when you're comparing to Disney World, I think a lot of other food would.
Yeah, a lot of. I don't think maybe it's not fair to
compare. Smack in the face is better than eating at some places in Disney World, isn't it? Let's be honest.
That's for sure. Yeah.
This is granular. Do you remember which In-N-Out you went to? There's a very specific one that a lot of people making the Florida to California trip end up eating at.
Apparently everyone I've told I ate at the same one, the one right next to Hollywood High.
Yes.
Right by Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes, in
That's
Studio
the one
City.
I ate at.
Yes, that was my first one.
We ate there and it was perfect. And we like parked at like some places like parking garage and we just like walked in and out. It felt like surreal to finally be there.
So you get to LAX, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You rented a car.
Yes.
And how was that drive from LAX into Hollywood?
Well, thankfully I wasn't driving. My dad was, but looking around was really cool because all the billboards, that was like the first thing I noticed is all the billboards are a lot more fun than the ones down here because all of ours are like car accident or like
lawyers
billboards for Adam and Eve Superstore. But then you go over to LA and all of them are awards billboards. And I love awards season. So it's like all these different movies and they're like for your consideration.
Yeah.
Licorice Pizza and Sing 2 and just like, I saw maybe, not even kidding, the entire time I was there, like 30 billboards for Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Like alone. So it was just really cool seeing like this entire place that really is just centered around like the media, like movies and TV and music.
So to explain that a little bit, in Southern California, obviously, is where most of the voters for the Golden Globes and the Academy and SAG live and work, obviously. So as you're driving around and it's the middle of award season, like you said, there are these massive billboards where it'll just be the poster for a movie. Don't look up, and it'll just say for your consideration. And they're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere, all over SoCal.
No, it was really cool to see, especially like movies I hadn't even heard of. I was like, damn, maybe I will consider that watching that right before the awards, even though we still have yet to get any of those nominations.
So
are you an Academy Awards, what do you call it? Member? Voter?
Who, me?
Yeah, well, you said, maybe I will consider that. Are you a voter?
Well, I just might consider watching it before I watch the Oscars. I would love to.
I thought you was like
be a part of the Academy. I think they need to redo their entire voting thing.
Well, we'll make a phone call after this show airs.
For sure.
The first theme park you go to is Universal Hollywood Studios, MGM.
Yeah.
And talk about that experience because the only thing you've seen so far up to now has been Universal Orlando, and Universal Hollywood is very different, right?
God, so like for years, I remember like in middle school being told about like Universal Hollywood, and they were like, it's so small, it's like this terrible park. And I'm like, so that's like the mindset I have going in. I'm like, this is going to be terrible. So night before, we see their city walk for the first time. And I'm looking at my brother. My brother's like 13. So he gets a lot of my theme park opinions from me, but he gets like a lot of his own. And the first thing he says is like, wow, their city walk is so much better. And I'm like, yeah, I have to agree with you. They have like versions of our restaurants that are like super shrunk down. Like they have a 1-story NBC grill in there, which was amazing. We ate there because, we're going to go to the West Coast and eat at the same restaurants we have over here. And I just like loved their city walk. I thought it was beautiful. It was really compact. They had an AMC theater, which is like a selling point for me because we have a Cinemark in Orlando. And then go to sleep, wake up the next morning. I'm like, I'm excited to finally see this park. And their upper lot, I genuinely think is better looking than both of our parks than we have down over here. Yeah. Like I love their upper lot because it's nothing but like, I heard like 5 different Frank Sinatra songs playing, and that's like an easy way to win me over. So it's like a bunch of that era of music. First time we did was Secret Life of Pets. Loved it. Immediately went on to do it again. Their Starbucks was gorgeous. And then right after that, we went to do the studio tour blown away because I didn't realize how many rides were actually on the studio tour, or I guess quote unquote rides. And that was insane because it starts off with like all of these posters of every Universal movie produced. And then, of course, you get to do King Kong 360 3D, which is like, I've like talked to people about it and they're like, that's the same ride as Orlando. I'm like, no, there's small differences. It's pretty much the same ride, but it was different. It was really cool seeing like a bunch of sets. Of course, Lady Gaga's music video Judas was filmed there.
Were you prepared for that escalator ride and how far down you have to go to get to the lower lot?
That was ridiculous.
It's like what, 5 minutes you're spending on an escalator.
I did that maybe twice that day because I thought the lower lot was like hideous. Like I was like nauseous. I was like, first of all, you have like.
Did you not take the stairs?
No, I was not gonna.
Not even joking. Like honestly, like it's a London thing. Like yeah, the escalator's going up, but I would take the stairs anyway.
But
stairs would probably be faster. You're right.
It's long. Like you're literally going down a mountain. It is like legit.
It's ridiculous.
Like 10 minutes on an escalator.
So we went down to the lower lot, and their Transformers facade. Oh my god, it's just. I was like trying not to like start crying laughing because it's like all faded and like say what you will about Transformers. It's not my favorite ride, but I at least know that our facade is a lot better than theirs because theirs is just like gross. Their Mummy facade is really weird too. And their Mummy was down. We didn't get to do Mummy. I know. I hear it's different, but
it's not better, but it's different.
I know. That's why I was excited because I was like, I don't even like the Mummy in Orlando. So let me see what this one's like.
Wait, you don't like Mummy in Orlando?
I think it's like fine. It like hurts my back.
Gosh. All right, I'm going to end this call. Let me boot him off.
All right.
Yeah, get rid of
having me.
Well, first, what initiated the trip out west? It's like your annual family vacation. Were you yearning to go? Was it like, yeah, I guess I'll go?
It's funny because I've been asking my parents for like years. I was like, you know what? I want to go to Disneyland for my birthday. And they're like, no. My brother turns 13, asked for one trip to Avengers Campus, and he's granted it immediately. So that's what the point of the trip is it's his big birthday. He wants to go do Web Slinger. So that is his
bar mitzvah
big thing. Yeah. So he wants to go and do that. And of course, he's like a huge fan of Secret Life of Pets. So he like wanted to see that too. And then my family was sold on that because they were like, well, Mateo works at Universal. He can get free tickets there. And then we did Secret Life of Pets 5 times that day.
Well, wait. Back up. You skipped the most important part for a Wakefield program.
Yes.
You got in for free.
We got in for free.
Nice.
Graduate of Chris Wakefield University of being a tight ass.
That's right. Good for you. So I bet
get in.
It was even better.
I think that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah.
Just because like, even though I didn't like pay for really like anything on the trip, I was still just like, maybe that's why I liked it so much was because it felt like it didn't feel like any risks were being taken. It was just like, oh, we're going here. This is just like a free stop on our trip.
How did you feel about Springfield, USA?
God, it's so much better than ours. Wow. It just feels so much more like Springfield. And I say this because like when Springfield, USA first opened here, when I first saw that concept art, I was going nuts because like a huge fan of The Simpsons. And then like, it's cool. Like ours is like nice, but theirs feels more like Springfield. It feels more like cartoony because there are like statues like hanging out of windows. Like there's like the Springfield prison. You got someone breaking out of the windows and you see Sideshow Bob like scaling the building. And each of the different like food things like Cletus's Chicken Shack and like Krusty Burger and stuff like that. And ours is just like a food court. But over there, it's all one connected building. But each respective restaurant is themed to like that thing. And I think that's the one part I like loved the most. I was like, they took the time to like make these little sections themed to like the Chicken Shack or a Krusty Burger or Luigi's Pizza.
Were there any other parts of the studio tour that kind of caught you off guard? Like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know about that.
Actually, yeah, I think it was right. Oh, there were coyotes on our studio tour. They were just like in the grass. So there were 2 things. We saw the coyotes and then like these Jurassic Park dinosaurs jumped out of nowhere. I like jumped out of my seat. I don't scare easily, but I was like, that was horrifying.
Is Jimmy Fallon still the host of the
He is still the host.
Okay.
And I was expecting him to not be as young as he looks in that ride. I was like, oh my God, they filmed this forever ago. But the thing that like I was going nuts for, and I was asking my brother, I was like, do you remember watching a video on this? There's one point there was like an Fast and Furious exhibit on the studio tour before Supercharged that is somehow worse than Supercharged, of like two cars on like hookah arms that like dance for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and they would dance around, right? And with, like,
yeah, they would dance around.
Spin.
That's still there. They didn't
really?
that you can see where you go in, you can see where you
you
exit.
can see it.
You can see the building. You're not going in, but it's like
honestly,
still there.
That looks like a better ride than Supercharged. Like, if you were able to put me in that car and somehow protect me like that,
Jalen, I'm gonna be honest. Supercharged on the studio, in the context of the studio tour, was so much more fun. I had like tears in my eyes. I was laughing so much because
that's like the issue with it, isn't it? That they've taken something that works
exactly
as part of a big thing and transplanted it and expected it to just
the
work.
Issue, yeah.
But I mean, I was the same thing as Kong, I guess.
But seeing a Vin Diesel try to pull down a helicopter in 3D, because the rides here are in 3D, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better. We need this.
So does he look? Does it look right? Does he not look like a giant man on a tiny helicopter? Does it look?
God, I couldn't even tell you. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking around for The Rock. I saw Vin Diesel like fly away for like 2 seconds, and I was like, "Where's The Rock?" And like the ride ended, I was like, "Wait, it's over!" And then the entire studio tour ends with that. I'm like, "You're gonna end the studio tour with Fast and Furious Supercharged?"
That was there when I went there. I went there when they first opened that for a press tour, and when I landed at LAX, there were like big posters in the airport, like in Orlando, like now open, Supercharged. It was a big deal for them, and it kind of flopped on.
That's so funny to me.
Do they still have Whoville, or is that torn down now?
Got rid of that.
It's gone.
Whoville's not on the studio tour, but the Grinchmas set was still up on the upper lot, but it was like walled off, but you could like just barely see it.
Okay. Any other highlights from the studio tour?
There was like a statue of Ted from the 2012 movie with Mark Wahlberg. I thought that was cool. That's like it. Jaws.
Did you see any celebrities?
No celebrities.
Okay.
But
you did do Jaws, right?
Oh my god. I know their Jaws wasn't like exactly what we had, but I was looking at that and I was like, God, we lost this for Diagon Alley.
There are a lot of talks at Universal Hollywood because that is as you can tell, Mateo, a large plot of land where you could put a big attraction. But allegedly, Steven Spielberg is clutching to that like death, and they don't want to make him upset. So the only reason that's still there is to keep Spielberg happy, because they've gotten rid of ET in Hollywood, obviously, and some other stuff. So
where was ET when it was there?
I don't know, because my first ticket was already. Oh, was it Mummy? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, you got rid of ET for the Mummy.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't for Transformers.
That would have been worse, actually.
You know, one thing on the upper lot we totally skipped that I even forget it's there when I go until I get there. It's Potter. This was the second or third Hogsmeade, right?
Yeah. Wow. I got a lot to say about Potter.
Go for it.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan, I must say, but I like. Oh my god, I love their Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Of course, the main difference, what feels like insane, is like their ground feels flatter. It doesn't feel like as uneven as ours. Hagrid's isn't there. The lockers for Hagrid's are like, I think it's like a gift shop or something. And nobody's in there. It's like empty. Nobody's in there. It's cold. It feels nothing like Orlando. And when you finally get to like Hogwarts itself, and there's like mountains in the background, you're like, this is gorgeous. And then I go into Forbidden Journey because it's like a 5-minute wait, which is also a huge difference from Orlando. You go in and like there are these like things that I feel like no one else would notice, but I just like visit the theme parks too much, so I would. There was like right where the Sorting Hat is, there were like different lighting cues on the like ceiling. It was like lit differently. I was like, interesting. You finally go in. Maybe ours is like a little better because their audio was super echoey. You could barely see the screens. The brightness was like turned all the way down. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but on our Forbidden Journey near the Whomping Willow, there is like a crashed like Forbidden Journey ride vehicle bench, like beneath the animatronic. That's not in Hollywood's. And their Dementor scene has like at least 10 more Dementors that are just like face on with you, which I was like caught off guard. I thought it was really cool.
I think both of the films on both coasts need an update because that film is starting to age really fast.
It is really bad. That dragon that gets you.
I
That
don't know
is like
about that.
The way it moves around the screen, it's like, oh god.
Yeah.
It
looks
is
like
really
a
bad.
JPEG.
PS3. Yeah, it looks like something from Skyrim from back in the day. When
Yeah,
Skyrim
it looks like
Oh
Oblivion.
yeah, for sure.
But it like I feel like every time that they upgrade the like they fix or upgrade like the frame rate on those things, I get sicker and sicker. Like the more real it gets, the more sick I get. I liked it back when it looked like 720p type shit. Like because I didn't feel like I was gonna throw up.
We
I
That's
know
love
fair,
Shrek.
yeah.
Back to Forbidden. I think I heard when I did a lights on ride through that bench that's on the ground next to the Whomping Willow was like ride vehicle that broke during testing and just like it didn't fix, so they put it on the ground.
That makes sense. Like I believe that fully.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the upper lot. Let's go to the lower lot now. My favorite section of almost any theme park in the world that I've been to, because I am a Jurassic World super fan. Mateo, you got to go to Jurassic World and you didn't
did.
like it.
It was all
What?
right.
Oh,
Like
God.
so I liked it a lot. I thought it was like cool, but I liked the park movie better than I like Jurassic World. So maybe there's a little bit of bias there. I think Jurassic World was really the first time we went on. That like T-Rex head that they like just added wasn't working. A bunch of the animatronics weren't working. I was like, this is underwhelming. So thankfully we went back later and it was a lot cooler. But there's something that just feels so like it's a cool effect when you see the Mosasaurus, like with the screens and everything.
It's a great
It's
effect.
awesome. It just feels so inauthentic. And I understand
Oh my
like our
gosh.
animatronics on ours aren't like amazing. Like they're broken and they just like stop halfway through the ride, but it just like feels better. Like our Jurassic Park like is like scary. Like it's super eerie. And like I was on theirs and I was like, whatever. The
It's a
second time
strike
I
two,
go
Mateo.
on,
It's a strike two.
Let me start to remove these strikes.
Right, so was the ride
Chris,
functioning
Chris.
with the Indominus and everything? Was it like the end
It was, thankfully. And that was
you
super
didn't like
sick.
it or you did like it?
No, I did like that. That was
cool,
cool.
cool.
Everything else getting up to that point, I was like, but the Indominus was insane. The T-Rex coming out of nowhere was crazy. And their drop
Yeah.
feels so much steeper than ours. I thought I was going to fly out. It was absolutely nuts. It was super, super cool.
And it is weird because it's really jammed into that small corner
It
of the
is.
park.
It's a very small space. And like, you can feel that. You can feel that they were like, we need every inch possible for like this ride.
So there really wasn't much else to do in the lower lot with Mummy being closed. You have Transformers. You have you get to see Nintendo under construction, right?
I have been waiting so long for Nintendo to finally come to these parks. So finally seeing that construction, like I almost cheered up. I was like, this is it. This is like finally happening. We're finally going to get like Nintendo, and it looks gorgeous. I'm shocked that they were able to fit like that land in like the lower lot.
It's crammed in there.
They really put it in there, and I love it.
What did you see? Describe
awesome
to us what you saw with the construction.
The main thing, like you can see, like the only like noticeable like Nintendo feature are like the green hills from like the Mario games. My brother thought that was so cool. He's like, that's nuts. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And then you can see like forms of Bowser's castle and Peach's castle taking shape, which is really, really cool. You can tell that like they're really, really pushing for it to open this year, which I hope it does.
Can you tell where the entrance to the land is?
I think it's right there. Like right in between, like if you were to look at Transformers' terrible facade and you took a left
To the left. Okay, that's what I
like
thought.
that would be
It's
like
like
their work.
wedged in.
It is really wedged in, yeah.
Okay.
It's like an end of is it like on the end of a corridor or an alley, and then it's
It's like right at the end of like I think it's like a cafe, and then
Because you can see the back of it from the studio tour, right? Like you go behind it.
yes, you
kinda.
can. We passed that on the studio tour, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. My last time there a couple of years ago, they had just started going vertical with stuff, so you couldn't really tell what was happening.
No, it was very surreal to see.
Cool. Any other highlights from Universal Hollywood?
Secret Life of Pets is the best dark ride I think I've been on in forever.
Wow.
It felt so surreal. I don't know if it was just like finally going on like a new ride that I know we don't have in Orlando, and I know it's not coming to Orlando anytime soon. I don't know if it was just like the sentimentality of it, of like going on with my brother and being like, oh, he loves these movies. This is really sweet. But we did it 5 times. That entire area has like a great music loop, and it's like gorgeous at night and it's gorgeous during the day. And the queue line is like insane.
So it sounds like the
good.
waits on this day were pretty short, right?
Well, Chris.
Oh no!
You'll never believe.
What did you do?
You'll never believe what the longest line was.
I'm going to guess it was for Minions.
No, it's for Simpsons. I waited 15 minutes for Minions. But I was like, I'm not going to leave until I do every ride. So we did Hippogriff too, which was 5 minutes. But waited about 40 minutes for Simpsons.
What?
Yeah,
and then we got
racks up numbers in Hollywood.
And we got the back row on the very top of the dome.
Jesus.
But I got a fixture, and that was cool.
Doesn't Orlando have one theater and Hollywood have 2? Is that right?
I think ours has.
We have 2.
We have
Orlando
2.
We do have 2. Okay.
2.
I think they might even have 4 because I know there's 2 separate buildings, and but it looked like when we were in like the pre-show, it looked like it had split off into 2 separate theaters. So I could be wrong.
Flight of Passage before Flight of Passage.
No, seriously.
Yeah. When they built Simpsons in Hollywood, that was supposed to be like their saving. Like, this is it. We've got it now. Simpsons. And it obviously did not do as well as they thought it would do. But wow.
Yeah, well, it's still the longest line in the park.
45 minutes. Did your parents disown you or?
There was like one part where like they were like, you know what? We're gonna go to like get a drink or something. You guys just go do whatever you want. And I was like,
queue any better at least?
It's the same, I think.
It's about the same, if not. Well, it's better. I think it's like more covered than ours is.
How was the Simpsons food?
Oh my God, it's so good. Minions Cafe, dare I say, because I was such a fan for so long, but Minions Cafe has a better grilled cheese than like Woody's.
Whoa.
And Woody, well, the thing, okay.
Well, old Woody's or current Woody's?
Old Woody's was good. New Woody's is hot garbage because they changed it and now it's just terrible. And it's not even soup anymore. It's like marinara sauce. But Minions, I would get rid of anything in our park except for Fallon for Minions Cafe. It was mind-blowing. It was really, really good. And the views from up there, you can't beat. You see like mountains. Like that's so cool.
Did you see the Warner Brothers lot from up there?
I did, and my brother, who is a fan of Space Jam 2, believe it or not, was going crazy seeing the Warner Brothers lot. And I was like, "Oh, that's where the Animaniacs live." And he was like, "Oh my God, that's where LeBron James played basketball." I was like, opposite ends right there.
Little Butch.
Wait, now, did you do what's that? Did you do the Kung Fu Panda, like the DreamWorks Theater?
Kung Fu Panda is so cool.
So cool.
And you know what the best part is? The seats don't move as much as Shrek, so you don't get sick, and you don't got to go to the chiropractor after. And it's not in 3D.
Yeah,
it's like fully 2D. It's not in 3D.
Whoa!
And it still looks really, really cool. And it's like a long film too. Like it feels like you're actually like on like a good amount. And I love how like they have it set up where like they can change it whenever they want.
Oh, good.
Because it's just DreamWorks theater. It's not Kung Fu Panda theater. It's just DreamWorks, which is what a certain other DreamWorks property should have been replaced with. But I digress.
Well, one thing that's concerning me, because we're several minutes into this conversation now, and you've yet to mention Waterworld. Oh, you didn't do Waterworld. There's strike 3. All right. Thanks to Mateo for coming on to the show.
My dad was like, "Do you want to see Waterworld with us?" I was like, "No."
What? Whoa,
you know what?
You did Simpsons and not Waterworld?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do Waterworld because no childhood trauma, right? So when it must have come out when I was about 12. So when you're a bit dumb at that age, right? So we went to the cinema. We got literally, because it's like a 3-hour film, right? So we got 2 hours and 45 minutes into the film, and then there was a power cut, and we got evacuated out of the theater. And this was when they had to literally physically rewind the tape so the next people could watch it. So they were like, "Yeah, we can't carry on from where we left off with the film. So we've run out of time. So if you want to see the film, you've got to watch it again." Yeah, so I watched it from the fucking start. 5 hours and 3.
This is legit one of the greatest stunt show in America right now.
I'm
but I
gonna
just
be
can't.
honest.
The trauma.
I've seen so many clips of it on YouTube, and
Oh
I
my
understand that
God.
doesn't do it justice. But this is like, so my
This
my
is
main
weird.
thinking for a lot of this trip was, I'll be back soon. My brother won't. Like I have a job. I can come back and see Waterworld, but I was more like,
Meaning that
Get in
you-
for free.
Meaning that your brother is a young teenager, not like he has cancer or something,
Yes.
but like
oh
yeah.
no,
Jesus Christ,
he's
bro.
doing well, Chris. I must say,
Jesus
but
Christ, Wake's good. You trying to
I just
I-
want to clarify that.
I
Like,
legitimately,
he's got 1 year to
Mateo,
live.
I legitimately thought you had never gone on your own, like just you two, and I was
Oh,
like, wow,
Yeah, I
that's
thought too.
impressive.
yeah, if I could pay for that, I can't even rent a car, so I would definitely not do LA at that point, because I'm not paying for LA Ubers. That's just not happening.
No.
But no, we hadn't gone on our own. We did go to Disneyland on our own though.
Oh no.
If you get me out next time I go to Hollywood, I'll let you know. And if you get me in for free,
Yeah.
then I will buy you with a coupon if I can find one
Yeah.
one free bottle of Coke. And then I'll take you to Waterworld. That's a deal. I mean, that's a good deal for you, I think. I feel like.
I think instead of Waterworld, we should do what I did this trip and just do Secret Life of Pets again. Because that's what I did every time.
This
Like,
is
that
the
would be like, you
meme
guys wanna
of
go do
the.
this?
This is the
I
meme
would've
of
done
the
the same
guy
thing.
who something always goes wrong, where it's this Mateo goes to Universal Hollywood, waits 45 minutes for Simpsons, but doesn't do Waterworld. What is
I
wrong
stand
with
by
you?
my decision.
Okay, all right. Any other highlights for Universal Hollywood before we move on?
Yeah. So you have to like say that like you have to bring a vaccine card or a negative test to get into the park, which allows their characters to be a lot more up close. And
Oh.
Beetlejuice like just came up to us and put his arms around us. And I was like, I like didn't realize why that interaction felt so weird.
Bad
I
touch.
was like, what's wrong? And like 5 minutes later, I was like, he's not supposed to do that. But like you can here. So we have this awesome picture of my brother and I, and we're just like up close with Beetlejuice. I'm like, this is like, I had like no idea what to say. I was like, this is so cool. I like love that they have like that like rule in effect at that park, which I thought was really cool.
Good. All right. So you do Universal Hollywood, you do Simpsons, and then I'm guessing the next day you make that long drive out to Orange County and Anaheim, and you settle in for your Disneyland days.
Yeah, so we left Universal that night and we started driving that night. So driving to Anaheim at like 8:30, I believe. And we arrive in Anaheim, I'm not sure, like 9:30. And also I didn't experience any LA traffic this entire trip.
Really?
And I was I'm gonna be honest, I was disappointed. I've seen La La Land a bunch. So not getting any like LA traffic, I was like, all right, no another day of sun moment. But we get to Anaheim and I see that Disneyland sign and I just started like whimpering.
Well, what's the first thing
oh
you
my
see
God.
though from the highway? The first thing you see is Tower of Terror and the Matterhorn, right?
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh Jesus,
I was on my phone.
Mateo! Oh my God!
So the first thing I saw, so we're like, okay, so there's like, we finally pull off and I like see Guardians in the distance. I'm like, okay. And I see the Disneyland sign. I'm like, I've waited so long for this. This is insane. I was so excited. And I took a picture of that and I was like, there's Guardians. And then off in the distance, I see my most anticipated ride for like the past few years, which is Incredicoaster. And then seeing that from a distance, I was like, this is real. Like we're going there.
We're going to
And
dig
the
into
next day-
that comment in a section about Incredicoaster because I have some questions about that too. And I'm happy for you not experiencing LA traffic because that same ride 2 years ago took my husband and I think 2.5, almost 3 hours to get from Hollywood Hills to
That is insane.
from Burbank to Anaheim. So good for you. What park do you do your first day?
So my brother and I, it was just us for Disneyland because my dad and my stepmom were like, you know what? It's the same as Magic Kingdom. And I was like, no, it's not. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And they're like, it's the same. And I was like, okay.
What did they do the whole time you were in the park? They just hang at the hotel or?
They hung out at the hotel. They like went to a beach. And I was like, oh, great. Okay. Do the one thing I hate. You go do that while I'm in Disneyland. We go into Disneyland and as soon as I wake up and we get like free breakfast, which was awesome because like our hotel had like Mickey waffle makers.
Oh,
and
wow.
they were better than like the Mickey waffles I have in like Disney World. I was like, these are amazing. We walk over. I'm like, yeah, we're leaving for DCA a lot earlier because there's just so many people at the line for security.
And your hotel was
Um,
behind what part of the park?
Behind Cars Land and like
Okay.
Guardians.
So you got to see those great
So-
mountains from behind.
Yeah, so we had a good amount of walk. We had like 10 minutes. We walk over there and we're in line and we finally walk through. And I like for years I thought I would cry the second I walked through. And I'm like close, but I'm just taking it all and I'm like smiling so much. And we're in there like early. So we're in there like 8:15, 8:20. So we're just walking around the like main street and we're looking inside the Emporium. I was like, wow, this is so small. And I'm trying to figure out like what we're gonna do first, or like
You're in Disneyland itself by now, right?
I'm in Disneyland. Like
Okay.
I see the castle. I'm like, oh, that is so much less cluttery than ours right now. And it's just so pretty. And then they make like this announcement like, oh, you're in Disneyland, welcome. And then they open and everyone's like running. And I'm like towards Rise. I'm like, what? No. Because like to me, Rise is a separate park. Rise is in like Magic Kingdom. So I'll get towards that later on how I felt about that. But the first ride we did was Snow White's Enchanted Wish, which had just been rethemed. And I had never gone on Snow White's Scary Adventures as a kid. I just didn't have like a Disneyland pass or a Disney World pass at that point. So we do Snow White and I'm Disney bounding as Snow White. So I'm like, this has got to be the first ride. And we're the first people on this ride. And we go through and I'm already like sensing so much difference. I'm like, wow, we're like so like low to the ground. We're like really like up close and personal with these animatronics. Like everything's close. Everything's really compact and small. And it gets to this point on the ride, and I won't spoil it because some people don't like ride spoilers. I know I don't. But there's one point on the
we
ride.
spoil stuff on the show. Don't worry. We spoil
stuff? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
By putting out the podcast, we spoil everything Disney World related anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
You get to the part of the ride where some day my prince will come starts playing, and I am just like fully tearing up. Like I need to like catch my breath. I'm like, this is insane. I just thought it was like amazing. And as soon as the ride stops, my brother looks at me. He's like, this is so much better than our park. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a good day. This is gonna be good because we have so many rides that we've like never even seen. Like I've seen like the clips on YouTube and stuff, but he's never seen any of it. And I live for that, for like having him see these things for the first time. So we do that, and the first thing he like looks at me, he's like, I know you've been waiting years to do Casey Jr. Let's go do that. That's right there. So we do Casey Jr. I'm smiling like an idiot. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like so happy. It was good. And I saw the storybook boats, and I was like, not this time. No, not this trip. That looks like I've seen everything it has to offer. I will come back for you. I got.
Keep in mind, when most people road drop this park, they go to Indiana Jones, Space Mountain, Rise of the Resistance, and you're on the D
usually
ticket, the C ticket.
Yeah, usually. But I was like, you know what? I'll get to those. I got my. I'll get in. I'll get on those rides.
I appreciate the patience. That's very
admirable. I don't want to stand.
To talk about that Fantasyland, because that Fantasyland went through a refurb in '94, I believe, or '84 actually, with Tim. I can see his face. Jesus, I'm forgetting his name. Sorry, someone's screaming at the radio right now. I'm sorry, but talk about that Fantasyland and how it felt compared to Orlando.
God. Their Fantasyland is so pretty, and it's so much. I'm gonna just keep saying that, and just like bottom line, Disneyland is so much better than Disney World, and it's just like if their Fantasyland feels like how Fantasyland I imagine should feel, it should feel like a storybook. It should feel like this like almost like medieval like village with like so much magic in it. And it's just gorgeous, and it's cozy, and it's intimate, and they have like 4 rides all within like 5 feet of each other. I'm like, God, that's already more rides than our Fantasyland has, it feels. And it's beautiful because you have like Casey Jr. as a backdrop, and it's all these like trees instead of like, you can't like see the contemporary from just like standing in the middle of Fantasyland. I'm trying to think of what else was in there. Mr. Toad's, which is a ton of fun. Peter Pan, which I didn't do because nobody told me it was different.
Tony Baxter Tony Baxter. So I was thinking, go ahead, Mateo.
I thought Peter Pan was about the same, so I was like, I'm not gonna wait 70 minutes.
It really
Peter
is.
Pan.
It's. I mean,
wait, what? I thought they just did a huge refurb
of Peter Pan
and shit.
I don't think did they do the.
They changed the animatronics. They changed Captain Hook.
Yeah,
and
I was
Pan.
told that they changed like a lot of stuff.
the Starfield thing. I don't know. I hate Peter Pan flight in general.
I know they did. They just
Yeah,
redid Snow
ride.
White. That got the biggest.
No, I'm pretty sure
biggest
the
overhaul.
California one, because they had that Imagineering story show. They talked about what they were doing currently at the last episode.
Oh yeah, no, he's
and the
right.
Peter Pan
He's right.
refurb was
He's
happening then.
He's right. Well, I haven't been on it since, so either way, Peter Pan flight sucks. Ugh.
It was just awesome ride.
And I recommended you do Mr. Toad. Did you get on that?
Yes, we did. And my
Okay.
brother looks at me. He's like, "Do you want the seat with the wheel?" I was like, "Yeah, I want the seat with the wheel." Are you kidding me? He's giving me attitude. It's like 6 p.m., so it's 9 p.m. our time. So he's tired. And I'm like steering along with the ride. I'm like, this ride is kind of stupid, but it's really fun to steer around. Because like, it feels like Mr. Toad's is the only ride in all of Fantasyland that has no animatronics. It's all like cardboard cutouts almost.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And so let's go land by land. Give us your thoughts of Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland. Ooh. I thought ours was bad. Star Tours, right there. It is just right there. I'm like, oh, I look at my brother. I'm like, hey, not this one. We got this one. It's okay. Astro Blasters.
Oh, man.
So sick. I love being able to take the gun out and be like, wow, this is great. And I'm shooting at all the targets I know from Orlando, and I'm not getting the same amount of points. I'm like, all right, well, this was a waste of time. But my brother, he was like, so can you like take the gun out on this one? I'm like, yeah, space like lights up. He's like, are you kidding me? So he loved that one. Their Space Mountain. I looked at my brother. I was like, God. He was like, I don't want to leave. Like that was so much better. I'm like, yes.
Did you not need a chiropractor after their Space Mountain then?
I'll tell you which ride made me need a chiropractor. And I don't think you'll believe it, but we'll get to that later. Space Mountain was sick. I love the side-by-side seating. I love like the lift hill. I like our light tunnel more, like the blue tunnel. I like ours a little bit more just because it like feels like, I don't know, it just feels more intimate.
But the onboard audio on Space Mountain.
Onboard audio is sick, and just like the entire, I don't feel like I'm going to get decapitated on this version of Space Mountain. It's a lot better. Autopia we didn't do, and I really wanted to, but I was like, we just have so much other things to do. We have Tomorrowland Speedway. It's about the same thing.
No,
I know theirs
is
is
not.
like,
how dare you? How dare you do that to Autopia?
I wanted to do it so bad, but I was also like, I'll be back soon, hopefully. So I was like putting off all these.
It has a better story. There's a story in general.
Oh yeah,
it's just a much better experience.
That's the main reason I wanted to do it.
And the monorail goes through Tomorrowland. In
everything kind of looks more interconnected. I mean, when you have the subs there too, it's a lot more beautiful as opposed to just like fun spotlight. Like, so it's
yeah.
It
looked cool. I wanted to do it. I also, you mentioned the monorail. I didn't see it run the entire time I was there.
Oh, so it's like the train in Disney World.
Yeah, it was.
Did you make it onto the Nemo subs?
It closed for refurbishment.
Oh, okay.
And even at that point, I don't think I would have done it. I don't think I can handle that ride.
Yeah, they've been closed since the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, it's been closed since the pandemic, which I wouldn't do because I'm like, wait, like I've done Horror Nights and stuff. I've like been close to people, but there's something about like being in like that cabin and being like underwater, quote unquote. I'm just like, no, I would like start freaking out. I already have bad anxiety in the first place.
So next to all that then is for those of us over 25, the ride that helps us realize our age quickly, the Matterhorn.
So you see, I saw Matterhorn. I was like, God, this is gonna be awesome. It's so good. And you know, I didn't really realize what it was gonna be like. Like I had seen videos. I was like, this would be fun. And my brother, he's usually kind of positive. If he doesn't like something, he'll say it. But that ride ends, and he looks at me and goes, "That sucked."
Yeah,
like that was terrible. And I was like,
Walt himself built that. That's a Walt original.
And I told him,
yeah,
that. I was like, buddy,
he built it. It feels like he built it.
Yeah, it does.
Like a fucking blowtorch and some peanut butter with pieces of herb in them, and like get the shit together. No, that thing is rough.
Hand bent it himself, is it? Every rail.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell him. I was like, this is like an old roller coaster. This is like almost from like
steel coaster.
And I was like, he was like, okay, yeah, I get it. He's like, but I do not want to do the other side of that ride. I was like, that's fine. I was like, we don't have to do the other track. So we didn't do the Matterhorn, or we didn't do the 2 of 2 Matterhorn tracks.
What's it like seeing Small World have its own massive facade and building? Like it's like a mini land almost.
I think so. I get a lot of like crap for this. I love Small World. So seeing like a giant, like beautiful facade for it was like amazing.
With the outdoor section.
The outdoor section is gorgeous. I'm like, wow, this is just like amazing. Ours was the holiday version. I'm very much anti-celebrating Christmas past December 26th. I'm just like, it's over. Like I'll start celebrating Christmas in September, but no more after December 25th. So seeing the holiday version, I was kind of like, okay, whatever, we're here. I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to see the holiday version. But it was just beautiful, and I love the inclusions of like the Disney characters. And I was like, this facade is just amazing. I just can't talk enough about it. And I saw it very briefly at night with the lights on, but
yeah,
just from a distance.
Was Toontown is the whole land closed now?
Toontown's open.
Okay. Did you do Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, we did Roger Rabbit. That ride was awesome. I didn't know you like could spin the car. I thought it was just like other rides where like it's fun for you.
No.
So when we like see the steering wheel, I'm like, oh, this is fake. And I start spinning it. I'm like, wait a second, this is so cool. And like seeing a Roger Rabbit ride, like still be like rideable in 2021. I'm like, this is awesome.
What did you think of the queue?
It was cool.
It's one of the most underrated queues, I think, in all of theme parks.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's one of the few. I mean, because Disneyland doesn't really even get to have good queues in general because it's so small. Like it's mostly just switchbacks. So the Roger, and plus I love Toontown. That's my home. Like I love Toontown. So like when I got to see all of that, like yeah, no, I'm a slut for queues. I love a good queue. If you got
I love a good queue for sure. And I was like, Roger Rabbit was great. I didn't realize how much I liked Toontown until I went to Disneyland because I don't remember our Toontown. I think the last time I was in our Toontown, I was like maybe 6 years old last time I like saw Disney.
So
World.
5 years ago.
I like saw their Toontown, but I think the coolest part was I was like, wait a second, it didn't like register that they're getting a runaway railway, and they're supposed to be getting like more scenes for theirs too. I'm like, God, this park is so stacked.
That scene will be like a corridor with an extra bit of. It's not going to be big, but they're making a massive deal. Oh, we get extra scenes, guys.
The tornado bit, it's kind of like that section of the ride.
Yeah,
it
probably won't be big, but like anything like adding onto railway will be perfect.
So, any other highlights from that side of the park for Disneyland? Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Toontown. Ish.
I'm trying to think of like the other rides because like I got lost so many times that day. Fantasyland.
Did you do
Alice
Pinocchio?
in Wonderland was cute. I liked that a lot.
Oh, Alice, yeah.
Alice was cute.
Pinocchio
was cute too. That was the second ride we did. I thought it was like, really dark, not like in theme. Like it is a darker like themed ride, but I was also like, God, somebody turn a light on. I could not like see half the animatronics.
Was it like going in and Abercrombie and Fitch back in the day?
Yeah, it actually was. I was like, I
God.
can't see anything in here.
What
so
about?
I don't know
I
if
think
it's supposed to be.
is there one more other ride there? That I think. Yeah. Did you go through the castle? Well, wait, were you able to walk through the castle? Was the castle walkthrough still going, or was that like shut
walk
down?
through like the drawbridge, or was there like a walk through attraction?
There's a whole attraction inside.
There's a walk
story.
There's a whole attraction. Yeah, that breaks down the story
Well,
of Sleeping Beauty.
That would have been nice to know. I think I knew. Like you were walking like through the like the entrance of the castle. I was like, "Is there something in here?" I was like, "No, this is too small. There's nothing in there."
Yeah, right.
I was
When you
wrong.
go, if you're walking toward Fantasyland, you make a left. There's a whole Sleeping Beauty, like it tells a story, and you go up inside the castle and then around it and down.
It's pretty cute.
That is really cool.
Which is not. I mean, the castle in Paris it takes you to a whole new different level up there.
Oh yeah, I want to see Paris's castle real bad.
All right, so let's go to the other part of the park where we have Galaxy's Edge, we have New Orleans, we have Adventureland, a whole different feel to that side of the park.
Got a lot more to say about this side. Of the
Critter
park.
Country.
Critter Country, yes. All right, where should we start?
Wherever you want to. What did you enjoy the most?
Before everyone jumps on my throat, I don't like Pirates of the Caribbean. I really don't. Ours, at least. I think it's like so. I just like hate wasting my time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like it. So we're going on this version of Pirates of the Caribbean, and all I know is I'm like, okay, there's like 2 drops on this ride, whatever. So I'm telling my brother, I'm like, this is like better than everyone else's, and like I know like the part like with Blue Bayou, so I'm like, you'll like this more. And he's like, okay. And then I'm like 3 minutes into this ride, I'm like, is it gonna start?
Yeah.
And then I'm 7 minutes into the ride, I'm like, oh my God, I don't ever want to go to Disney World again. Like ever. And that's what I was tweeting on that ride, was when I was like, Disneyland is better than ours in every way possible. Because I got 2 drops and you have these scenes that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And all the scenes that I have seen are a lot more spacious. And there's a scent on Pirates of the Caribbean that I hate. I don't remember exactly which room it is, but it smells like Benadryl and it's like disgusting. But theirs doesn't have it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better than ours. And it's so much longer, but it took forever to get off the ride. I think it took like 15 minutes to get off. But I was like, this, amazing. I loved it. Right after we get off Pirates, I'm like, God, we have my dad's credit card. Let's use it.
Oh, dear
so
God.
I knew the mint julep bar was around there. I'm like, Nevin, do you want a beignet? He's like, what's a beignet? I'm like, you're 13 years old. Grow up. So I was like, we're getting Mickey beignets. Like, that's it. So we got him, and he's got powdered sugar all over his face. I can tell you like those. And I have been waiting years to have a mint julep. I'm like, God, I hope this is good. And I take a sip. I'm like, I'm never going back.
It slaps, don't it? It slaps.
It's amazing. And
So you got these from the counter service that's around the corner from Pirates, right?
Yes.
Okay.
From Pirates, right over there.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound weird. Next time you go, dip the beignet into the mint julep. I'm just saying.
Really? You know what? That doesn't sound weird. That sounds good.
We do have the mint julep slushy here over at like Casey Corner, but it's too slushified. Like it's not
even slushified. It's just like it has lemonade in it, and it's like Minute Maid lemonade, and Minute Maid lemonade is the worst.
So
it's like. No, go ahead, Chris.
A tip. So I found my go-to breakfast now at Disneyland is they serve beignets at that Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen in downtown Disney. It's the exact same beignets, and they serve them there. And so if you get there early enough, you can get a nice coffee or hot chocolate with your beignets and eat them while you're going into the park.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's good to know. I loved them.
So do you want to go to Haunted Mansion next or Indiana Jones?
Well, I would have loved to go to Haunted Mansion if it was open.
Oh, it's not open. Okay, that's still.
It wasn't open. They had just put it down, and like I would have I know I don't want to see Christmas stuff after Christmas, but that's like the one thing I would have wanted to see.
But I mean, you get to see though the actual Haunted Mansion, the way it was intended to be seen, the old plantation style.
Yeah, maybe not the best facade. But
the screams are the slaves. That is the ghost of the slaves. That's the screams, right?
Did you walk past Club 33?
I think we did, yeah.
You think think you did? Everyone gets a photo by the sign with Club 33. You didn't do that?
I honestly, I couldn't tell you. If I like saw New Orleans Square, I was like, I know it's around here somewhere. It's around here, but we're busy. We got to do something.
And so here's my next offer. Along with you getting me in Universal for free, I will get you into Club 33 next time if you pay for my meal. So I'm being generous to you. Yes.
I mean, that's like not a terrible deal.
It's an awful deal. It's like $170. So don't do
that. Okay. Well, I still just to say I was in there at that point. Like I'd pay for that.
So you did do Indiana Jones. Uh-oh.
I hate Dinosaur.
Oh.
Like I do now. Like I love Dinosaur, but now it's like I go on Indiana Jones, and I was like, I had seen videos like very briefly. I was like, wow, that looks cool. And you enter that giant room that's like open, and there's lava on the ground, and there's cars going over bridges. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Fire shooting off.
And there's like a laser being like shot off from like an eye. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like on board, like just gasping and going, holy like cow, like what's going on here? And I'm like, look, you get to that point where you like dive down and like you see like this giant like demon flash through a screen, and my eyes are like popping out of my head. I'm like, this is nuts. So we did the Indiana Jones 3 times that day because I adored it, and I'm gonna get like crap for this. I have never like fully seen like start to finish an Indiana Jones film.
That's fair.
And I like very much want to, because it's not like the Sun Show was making me want to, but a ride, oh my God, nuts.
I should ask, did you have, what's it called now, Ryan? Max Pass, Fast Pass? What is it now? Genie Pass?
That's what I was thinking of asking. Yeah, Genie? It's Genie's.
We didn't do Genie Plus, no.
Okay, so this is a really slow day, I guess.
Oh my God, I was shocked. I was like, damn, you guys don't have crowds.
Yeah, they actually have off seasons, unlike Orlando.
Yeah, I remember those. Those were nice.
What day of the week was this? Because the crowd really picks up after
Tuesday.
5 p.m. Okay, yeah, so you were there on a Tuesday during the day, so yeah.
Yeah, so we were there on a Tuesday, and I was like, this is really cool. I don't want it to come to Orlando, ever.
Indiana Jones, you mean?
Indiana Jones, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want it to be here, because I do think that like some rides should stay places, and they should like be like special to like that place, because it encourages you to go there. And if there's one ride you should go to Disneyland for, it should be Casey Jr. But next to that, it should be for Indiana Jones
Or Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad's had his wild ride. Maybe it's time we put some brakes on that one.
So staying on that side of the park, you have Walt Disney's, literal Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. You have the Tarzan Treehouse.
So Tiki Room is my favorite attraction in Magic Kingdom, and one of like my top 5 favorite attractions like ever. I love it. And it was the one time during the day where I was like, I like ours more.
Okay.
But I don't like their I like their show more, but I like our room more. Our room feels like cozy. It's like, I like our windows that like have like the water and like the rain effects in it. I like those. Those are really cool. But I love their Tiki Room because they have like a bunch of like parts of the songs that I've never heard. They have a bunch of jokes that I'd never heard before. And then you have the fountain in the center of the room, which there is no reason we can't do that in ours.
What did you think of the Dole Whip stand, right? And essentially in the waiting area.
I think it's clever. People are going to get a Dole Whip and go watch the Tiki Room. It's awesome.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on. Staying in that part of the park, we have left Critter Country. We have Galaxy's Edge.
Critter Country was cute. Somebody thought I was Disney bounding as Christopher Robin. I was like, damn, that actually would have been a good idea.
Nice.
But Winnie the Pooh, I liked. I don't remember it much. I just felt like yeah, Winnie the Pooh always feels like a rush ride, but I think I liked Orlando's more.
Did you see the Max, Buck, and Elvin?
Oh my God, I forgot to look for that because for years I was always looking for that on ours, and I was like, why are they there? I was like, no, so they're not there. For those
who don't know, their Winnie the Pooh in Disneyland is where their country bears used to be, and the Imagineers left up the moose, the deer, and whatever else, and you can still see them in the ride. If you leave, I forget which room it is. I think it's after Heffalumps and Woozles. If you look behind your car, you can see them hanging on the wall still. They left them up in the ride. So
I always looked at the windows above or next to Snow White because I thought that, the evil witch was up there, but that was California.
Yeah. Speaking of, good point, Ryan. Did you see her come out of the window there in California?
The window?
No, you didn't. Yeah, and the evil witch in Snow White every ever so often will look out the window, just like the who is it in Harry Potter?
Gringotts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, I didn't see
That's where they got that from. Is from Snow White in California. The evil witch will look out the window every once in a while.
That is awesome.
All right, so then we're going to go to we still have Disneyland itself has more rides in that one park. I think it's twice as much as Magic Kingdom does. We still have Frontierland, Star Wars.
All right, well, we'll start with Star Wars then because
it's the exact same.
I know it's the same land, and I know people are probably gonna be like, "What is this kid on?" Oh my God, their Star Wars is so much better than ours.
It's the exact same.
No, it's not because there's
I've been to both. It's the exact
ours
same.
Is just like ugly. Like ours is just like it just feels like even if it was like a cold day out, if you walk into Arbor 2, it's gonna feel like it's 90 degrees outside. Like it's just and not a good time, and there's not a bunch of shade, but theirs feels overgrown. Like there's a lot more like greenery, and like their rise queue feels more like tucked away. I didn't go see the Falcon because I had no interest in ever looking at a clone of Smuggler's Run. But
I think they're like those big tree things look more like trees in California than they do in
The approach
Atlanta.
is a lot better. Entering the land is a lot better in California.
Oh my God. Yes. Both entrances were awesome. So maybe that's what I liked more. But even then I was like, wow, this is a lot better than our Toy Story Land transition. A lot better.
It's and I was a big critic of this because I love the old Rancho del Zocalo area where they had the goats in Disneyland and stuff like that. So they did a lot of great work with it. And that was, I mean, they still the train running, right? In California.
We did do the train, yeah.
Yeah. So you saw, oh my gosh, you saw the, I'm blanking on the name of it, the dinosaur section in Tomorrowland on the train, right?
I knew that they had that. And for years, I made sure never to watch a POV of it because I was like, I want to see that in person. I think it'd be cool. And I was in there, I was like, our train's been closed for like how many years? They better be doing this behind our back or something because...
The Magic Kingdom train closed before my daughter was born. It won't open again until my daughter is in kindergarten.
Jesus.
Like legit. Like those are real numbers. Son. Yeah, those are real numbers. God.
Yeah, like January. How old is she now?
She'll be 3 in March. It closed in December 2018.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is like insane.
Yeah, so
and maybe Tron will open before she goes to college.
Well, and we rode the train in California with her, and we got to Disney World. We go a couple times a year now, and she can see the tracks and see where the train is supposed to be, but there's no train running.
It's really disappointing. Their train is awesome.
Okay, sorry, I stepped over you. Any other thoughts from that Star Wars land, that Galaxy's Edge?
I'm gonna get yelled at again, but their rise is different. Like very briefly.
Oh, what?
So when you go from like the probe joy room into that room where they're like, there they are, those are the prisoners, and they start shooting at you and they start like shooting at the wall. There's like, I don't know how to explain it over the phone, but like the wall and like the entrance is either like shorter or it's like positioned differently than ours. It's different. And I will like die on that hill.
Ryan?
In California, they had to redo the entire floor.
Oh, because the pucks went with the GPS thing?
The entire ground level. They tore up the entire ground. So everything that was, on ground level had to be replaced too. So it was a mess. That's why theirs was delayed so long.
Wait, Ryan, this isn't people listening. Did you grow your hair out?
Yeah.
Are you in the take your hat off. Are you in the long hair club now? What? Dude, welcome to the long hair club.
Yeah, I just haven't cut it.
Wow, we got Fabio over here. Wow, anyway, sorry. We're on Zoom for those of you listening, so we can see each other. But yeah, Ryan, you're right. They had to take up because the GPS monitoring or the positioning pucks were all messed up.
Yeah, it was something in the floor was messing up the vehicles.
Yeah,
but
that's insane.
So I imagine they probably, Disney at one point was further along in the construction process than Disneyland, of course, because it was like literally 8 months in between openings. So
now Mateo, when you were there, I said there's one thing you have to do. You have to go to the cart and get a corn dog. And you said
I like corn dogs.
You don't like corn dogs. So what did you eat while you were in Disneyland?
We went to Jolly Holiday and we got the best grilled cheese I've ever had and the best tomato soup. Oh my God.
Is that all you had when you were in California? Was grilled cheese?
What?
Is that all you had when you were in California was grilled cheese?
Yeah, actually. My dad was like, what'd you eat? I was like, grilled cheese. And I was like, all right.
You and my daughter. Grilled cheese and chicken nuggets is all you need.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, that was not the park I knew I would. I was like, I'm probably not gonna eat a bunch of like Disneyland because there's not like a bunch of like stuff that I would like want to eat, like, or stuff that like intrigues me. But I knew DCA was going to be like more food than rides.
So let's go over now to DCA because this is the first time for years and years of going to Disney World. You're now at a Disney resort where one park is literally like at Universal Orlando, right next door, across the promenade.
Yeah.
So give me your first impressions of walking into California Adventure.
I was more excited for DCA than I was for Disneyland. I don't know, because Disneyland, I was like, this is special. I'm like going into like a new park. It's the oldest one. I'm so excited. But then I was also like, DCA is like, at least the thought of it was like my dream Disney park. It was perfect. And then when I went in, it was more than expected because I'm going through Buena Vista Street and I'm like, wow, this is so pretty. It's nice. It's like nicer than our Hollywood Boulevard. It's really nice. And then we got there really early because I was like, I am not waiting for web slingers because everyone says it's terrible. So I'm like, we're getting there early and we're waiting 5 minutes max. And my brother and I are super big Spider-Man fans, but I think if it wasn't the first thing my brother did, he would have gone insane. So like, we're doing this first.
So there were no boarding groups then for web slingers?
No, there weren't any, but like I still checked because I was like, God, I haven't gotten a boarding group in forever. I like need to like refresh myself.
You're the master at it.
I do my best. I really do.
So talk to us about web slingers then. You entered Avengers Campus.
Awesome. Walking through campus is insane because my brother and I are super big Marvel fans, but he loves it like in a way that I can't even like explain, but like it's like almost like everything to him. Like he just like was going nuts. And of course we can't take it in because we're running to Spider-Man. And for some reason he's like miles ahead of me. I'm like, I didn't know you could run this fast. So he's like already almost on the ride and we're like barely in campus yet. I'm like, can you slow down, please? We'll all go in together. And we enter the pre-show and I'm like laughing like hard. Like I think their pre-show is so funny.
And this is the one with Tom Holland.
With Tom Holland. I'm like, wow, this is like, they got him for this. Like, it's great. And then we get into the ride. I'm like, everyone tells me this ride is so stupid. This is another ride I have never watched a POV for. I was like, I'll see it in person. I'll see it in person. Everyone's like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And I'm on this ride. And like in day-to-day life, I'll just like make a web slinging motion with my hands. I'll be like, phew, and I'll like pretend. I'll be like, oh, slung a web. I'm Spider-Man. So going on a ride and it actually doing something and it like feeling like I was Spider-Man, I genuinely think Web Slingers is like amazing. Like, is it like the best ride ever? No. Is it amazing story-wise? No. However, that ride is so fun. My dad and my stepmom immediately were like, we're going to sit that one out for the rest of the day. We're tired. And after the first ride of that, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do that again? Because my brother was like freaking out for days. He's like, we're going to do it more than once, right? I'm like, we'll see.
Gosh.
We'll see on Web Slingers.
Are you like super tired after? What is it?
Oh my God.
It's a lot of work.
Toy Story Mania, I go on a bunch and I'm like tired after, but this was like a whole other like wave of like, oh my God, that was maybe a bad idea.
Because Toy Story, it's just this web slinger. It's like a constant.
You're using your entire body.
That's what Ninjago, the Legoland.
Yeah, you're throwing stars.
You get a full upper body workout like all the time, and it's just.
I'm fully preparing to like go get a Legoland pass so I can go on Ninjago and like practice for the next time. I'm going to be making the web hand motions too. That'll be a lot more fun.
So also in Avengers Campus, you have Guardians of the Galaxy, but the bigger thing is you have the flying Spider-Man robot man person. Yes. Did that work? Cool. Did you see it?
It did work. It was awesome. Well, before he even did that, he wasn't even on that side of the building. He was on the other side, standing on top of a wall, hanging upside down and doing all these other things. He was waving at us. I was like, this is so insane. So we walked over there. We saw the animatronic fly. I was like, oh, I've never seen a video of that before. And then we like walked away. But it was really cool to see. It was like really awesome. They have like, it felt like a land that was alive, unlike other lands in the park right across the street.
Yeah. Did you see Doctor Strange at all?
We didn't see the show, no. Well,
okay.
we were like walking out of something and we saw him. There was like a giant group of people. I was like, I don't care enough to go like stand near people. I got rides to do.
So it's an infamous story. My trip to Disneyland a few years ago, I think it's before my daughter was born. Guardians of the Galaxy had just opened up. It was a 4-hour wait. It was like opening weekend. someone offered Eric and I fast passes to this back when they had fast pass.
Yeah.
Paper fast pass. And I said, no, thank you. And I didn't do it. And our old hosts, Derek and Tim, gave me shit for it for weeks and weeks and years and years. I just like, it's Tower Terror. I've done it before. I didn't know it was what it was. Did you do this right? Did you redeem me?
Yeah, like almost immediately into the day, like right after Web Slingers, I was like, because I had like kind of planned out the day. I was like, we'll do Guardians later. Like we won't wait very long, and it was just like a 10-minute wait. I was like, okay, fine. So we go in. My dad is like a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan. Like it's like in my top 3,
right?
Maybe like top 4 favorite MCU things. So I love the Guardians. But he like thinks everything that comes out of Drax's mouth is like the funniest thing that's ever been said. So I'm like more excited to see his reaction to this. But I'm also really excited because I know one of the songs is Want You Back by the Jackson 5. And I love, love, love that song. Because that song on Rip Red Rocket is amazing. Is it going to be better on Mission Breakout? So we're pulling backwards and it gets to that point where like when Rocket unplugs you and starts, I've been waiting years to see that in person. And he slams that like awesome mix in and it starts playing and I don't think I've ever yelled so loud on a ride. I was like, yes, this is it. I'm like, Nevin's like 4 people away from me. I'm like, we got it. We got Want You Back. And we immediately like go all the way up. I was like, this ride is nuts. It's so cool. And we did that like maybe.
Did the Rocket animatronic work?
It did.
What was that like? I was
really scared that it wasn't going to. What
was that like?
It was, well, I knew it was going to work. Not knew it was going to work, but I knew it was there. But I knew my dad didn't know it was there.
Okay.
So I was kind of waiting for his reaction to, he's like, oh my God. And then there's like that part where like a rocket hand comes in and it takes like Star-Lord's cassette player. And he's like, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, I was homeschooled. I had like nothing else to do but watch videos of these rides.
Did he ever do Stitch's Great Escape? He must have been like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Thing is like, I got a lot of like crap for it. I like Stitch's Great Escape was genuinely one of my favorites when it was open.
It's a solid, old, reliable attraction.
Yeah.
If you need to kill 30 minutes, go do
it.
Stitch.
Was right. It was like there, it was in the air conditioning. And
it's all reliable. Yeah, it's like Star Tours, but shittier.
Yeah.
And that Stitch animatronic, those Stitch animatronics are fucking amazing. And Skippy.
They were awesome.
Skippy. All right,
well,
so
Skippy wasn't around.
You do whatever. Marvel. You walk through what used to be Bugs Land, R.I.P. So what did you do next in DCA?
Speaking of Bugs Land.
Oh, no.
I don't remember. I think it was in DCA Day. My brother, who's been so excited for Avengers Campus, he's like, so where's that Bugs Lane? I was like, you're standing in it. You're there. You see
have they started work? Now, we're hearing that there's a Avengers e-ticket coming, maybe, possibly. Do you see a section for that in that land at all?
I think like that building with the Quinjet is where like people enter, and I think like there are doors there that are like ready to be open. Not like ready to be open.
Parking lot. It's just parking lot at the moment, but it would go behind to the right. If you're looking at the tower, Mission Breakout, and then you've got the Quinjet on your right, it would be behind the Quinjet, but to the right and the mirror.
Okay. So explain to me then what's left in Hollywood Land, where we used to have Muppets and Superstar Limo and stuff like that. What's left? I know Muppets is still there, right?
Muppets isn't there anymore. No.
It's gone. Jesus. So you just have Monsters Inc.
It's PhilharMagic.
And PhilharMagic.
Oh, that's right. That's okay. You're right. Yes.
I didn't see PhilharMagic. I like love the new Coco scene. I think it's amazing, but I was like, I am not wasting time. But my dad, my stepmom, they were like, okay, you guys go get food and do the rides we've already done. We'll do PhilharMagic. I was like, thank God, because I do not want to see PhilharMagic.
Did you do Monsters Inc.?
Monsters Inc. is so cute.
Right?
I like, love.
Underrated.
So it's like a sentimental thing. The same way like I waited 45 minutes for Simpsons because it was like the ride that like made me like fall in love with theme parks, because the whole story was like my brother was like way too young to be watching The Simpsons. He was maybe like 2 or 3. And I put it on and we found like this thing online of like this like newscast of like the Simpsons ride opening. So we had to do Simpsons because I was like, we're on a new park. This is our ride. This is the reason I love theme parks. So let's do it. So it's the same with Monsters Inc., where I was like, the first time I showed him Monsters Inc., I think he was like 5 years old, and we got the DVD, and I think he maybe watched it like 80 times that summer. And that, because it was the same summer as like Monsters University. And of course, nobody can afford to go see a new movie in theaters like 80 times in a summer as much as like a 5-year-old might want to. So we just watched Ink a lot. But that song in the credits, If I Didn't Have You, he was like, okay, you be Mike, I be Sully. I was
Oh,
like, wow.
God, stop. You're killing me. Oh,
I'm a lot taller
Christ.
than you and a lot older than you, but sure, I'll be Mike. And there would be times at like family gatherings where we would have like a Mike and Sully plush and we both hold them and we both sing it. And this 5-year-old singing Sully's part. So going on Mike and Sully, I was like, this is really sweet.
Yeah.
So on the ride, I'm like tearing up. I'm like, God, Drew Carey used to be here. And
He's still there. He's still there.
well, he's still there. I see him and his maps. But
Wait, question. So anybody else I've like been on this, like who's done this ride, and I hope I'm not tripping, but when you go through the Harryhausen scene, doesn't it smell like ginger?
it does.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah,
that was
I
like
thought
one of
I
the
was
only
delusional or
times
some shit.
my dad like out loud goes, huh. He was like laughing. He was like, oh my God, it smells like ginger. That's awesome. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even
That's
realize. Like,
dope.
yeah, that is really cool.
The smells is like one of my favorite things with theme parks. If you have a unique smell, except
Yeah.
for Stitch, that shit was gross. But like
Oh,
if
I
you have
love
a
Stitch's
legit
smell.
no, son, it
chili
smells like
dog.
a fart. Like it
That
was
chili dog thing was
terrible.
awesome.
Is the Frozen musical still there where Aladdin used to be?
I think it's there, but it's not open.
Okay, because I boycotted it because Aladdin was amazing out there, and when they got rid of that for Frozen, I was like, no. So
I probably wouldn't have.
walking into that land, did you do Art of Animation or Disney?
We didn't.
Junior?
Halfway through the day, I was like, wait, we didn't do Art of Animation. I was like, that's okay. And no, we didn't do Disney Junior because it's just a dance party. And until they put Bluey in there, I don't really care.
I do it so all of you don't have to. I'm forced to do it every time I
sacrifice, Chris.
Yeah.
Um,
So, okay, let's talk about Cars Land. Did you enter the right way or the wrong way?
which way is
That's
the wrong way?
So the right way to do it, and I only say this because when I first went, again, I went there on their opening month.
Right.
I went with a local, my great friend Tommy Picks. Tommy Allison took me. He's kind of my guy when I go out there. The right way to do it is to go through when you go through like Ghirardelli and like across Pier, the Ghirardelli, the San Francisco area.
Yeah.
Go in that way. And I went in there the first time. And again, I'm jaded. I'm a jaded theme park fan, but I walked through there and I was like, holy shit. Wow.
Yeah. We went in the wrong way the first time. We did go in through the right way at one point. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like it is I'm not like a huge Cars fan.
Neither am I.
And then I was like, damn, maybe I'm a huge Cars fan. Like,
Yeah.
just walking through there was awesome. It's such a pretty land.
And you rode
before
Test
we get-
Track. Or sorry, not
What?
Test Track. What's it called?
Radiator Springs Racers.
Yeah, sure. Test Track. You wrote that.
God, that ride is in such a state of like disrepair. It is
Talk about
bad
that.
right
What did you see? What was wrong?
the first sheriff when you see sheriff, he's supposed to like drive out towards you. He just stayed in his bush. I was like, all right.
Oh.
Mater didn't drive backwards. He kind of just stayed there and moved to like his like eyes. That was it. The second Mater worked. And everyone's like projected mouse once you finally get into like Radiator Springs is like super faded. You can like barely see it. But everything else, despite that, I was like, this ride is like, if you can believe it, almost 10 years old.
That's a shame because that ride saved that park.
Oh, it did. And it's like a beautiful, beautiful ride. I love it. We did it twice. My dad's a big Cars fan. So like we did it twice. I wanted to make sure we did. It was good. I loved it. Cars Land. There were always like rumors of like Cars Land coming here. I'm like, no, I'm all right. Then I had a chili con queso. Holy shit. I would pay hundreds of dollars to have one of those right now. That was the best food item I think I've like ever had in a theme park. Because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a hard bread cone, and I bite into it. I'm like, this is perfect.
They're
It's
good.
basically a handwich. Like they
Yeah,
brought
it
back
is
the
a handwich.
handwich for that park. It breaks my heart to hear that you didn't get like the good Radiator Springs because like
Yeah.
for me, I love Radiator Springs races. That like
No, I still loved it. It's still a great ride. I just know it can be better.
Yeah.
It's I quote that ride at least once a day when somebody peels off like, hey, you're not racing yet. Like I love that. I love that attraction.
That reveal when you come around the corner, when you're on the ride and you come around the corner and the waterfall and the music cue.
Oh yeah,
oh my
no, it's
God.
great. It could be a little bigger. It could be a little bigger.
Yeah.
Once you get up close to it, it looks like
the music on the ride is just gorgeous
it's
too.
So good. So good.
It is awesome.
That was one of the first places I was in a theme park, and I forgot I was in a theme park. And there was a kid around me or next to me when I first went in, and he said he was with his parents, and he goes, "Mommy, is this where they filmed the movie?" And I was like, "They did a damn good job. Wow, that takes a lot to get that out of a kid." So
yeah.
Okay, so you do Cars Land. Did you do Mater's? And is Luigi's? Luigi's is gone now, right?
No, Luigi's is there. The Rollick Roadsters is there.
Did they add something else?
It's not the it's not the
it's
tires.
Not the tires, right?
It's basically like his family's there and you're like dancing.
That's what it is, yeah. Because Eric and Ari did that, but I didn't do it last time. But we did spinning.
I forgot to do Mater's. I'm gonna be totally honest. And I know everyone was like, "No, you got to do it. It's better than Aliens Furling Saucers." I'm like, "Okay, well, it's a spinning ride." So
just for but okay, so I can't spin. I get motion sickness. But even I did it just for the songs of hearing the Larry the Cable Guy sing along.
Yeah,
alone is it's worth it.
Is it? I'll have to do it next time. But Luigi's, if that was here, I'd be doing it every day. Like I would drive for Luigi's. That ride was pure joy.
Isn't the queue so cute?
The queue was awesome.
Oh my God, I love that queue so much. It's
God, if they did more stuff like that over here, I'd be like, just like perfect. Not everything has to be like a giant e-ticket or marketing Ratatouille as an e-ticket. Like it's just like you can have small rides, like things like that are like perfect.
Did you notice the stoplight?
I did. I was looking at it. I was like, is it going to do the every third blink? And
it does. Yeah.
Sick.
Nice little touch.
That is a good touch.
So what else are some of your highlights here? We're pressing up against time because Tommy is in England and it's like, what, 4 a.m. over there, Tommy?
It's 3 a.m.
Holy shit. Okay, so we're up against it. But talk to us more about some of your highlights from DCA. Talk to us about why was Incredicoaster so high on your list?
I have waited so long to go on that ride because everyone said it was
It's been open for like 3 years.
I know. And I was like, it feels like a long time, especially with like the pandemic shortening like Disneyland trips I was supposed to go on. And I love the Incredible score. I like obviously love the Incredibles. So this is the day I went to DC. I dressed up as like Violet. And I was like, this is going to be a great ride. And we sit front row on that launch. And as soon as it launched, I was like, this is it. This is my favorite ride ever. That score is pumping. You got the cookie smell and you have like the family like yelling at each other on this ride. I'm like, this ride is perfect. And Pixar Pier is just gorgeous.
Did you go on Chris's favorite ride in Pixar Pier?
No, we only did Incredicoaster.
Oh, that fucking Ferris wheel.
I wanted to do it, and I know my brother did too. I was like, so if we're pressed for time, I won't like get super into it. But he was like, I want to do the Ferris wheel. I was like, Nevin, you want to do Web Slingers, right? And he's like, yeah, I do.
How manipulative.
It's not okay. No. Because the thing is like, I told him, I was like, listen, he was like, do you want to do the Ferris wheel? Because he asked me, he's like, I know you want to do it. I was like, Nevin, I'd rather you do Web Slingers because I know you really want to do it. We did Web Slingers 5 times.
Wow.
5 times.
Jesus Christ.
2 of those times being with the Web Tech bands. And if Web Slingers didn't hurt before, it does after doing it with those.
I'm sure.
The entire flight home, I was almost in tears from how bad my back hurt. It was like stiff. I felt like I was 90 years old. It was terrible. That pain lasted for like 2 or 3 more days. I had to like lie on the hardwood floor. Terrible.
Did you do Soarin' and Bear Country?
I didn't even walk into Grizzly Peak.
What?
And I know.
What?
I wanted to.
That's the area in the park.
I know.
Oh my.
I did.
This man's here.
But I was also thinking, I was like, listen, I need to like, I was already like getting like majorly depressed in the trip. I was like, I can't believe I'm
even set eyes on California, on the Grand Californian?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh my God.
Did you at least get the free bread? Did you get the free bread?
No.
I was more worried about doing rides. I'm gonna
Oh.
be
If there's
honest.
one thing I ever taught you, kid, you always get the free shit first. Like, what the? They
I
never
wanted
give
the
you
free
nothing
bread.
free in a Disney park, and you don't get the free.
Hey, look, he did Midway Mania 5 times, got a bad back for it. That's all he needs. He's
You know what?
happy.
Yeah, you don't get no bread. You got your bag broke.
Well, here's the thing: a good amount of the day was spent in the gift shop.
Pause.
Because
I'm sorry. Pause.
My,
No, go Mateo.
my brother spent maybe a total of like an hour and a half throughout
Tom
the day.
Holland broke that back. What?
Yeah.
Pause, Chris. Pause is
Listen.
basically a up north no homo. Pause, pause, son.
Go on, Mateo. I'm
Let
sorry.
the man
ahead.
speak. Let the
We
man
spent
speak.
so much time in the gift shops because my brother has been saving up like hundreds of dollars. I was like, first of all, where the hell did you get all this money?
Yeah.
Second of all, are you going to spend it all here? And he was like, yeah. My dad was like, okay, when you guys pack for this trip, one backpack and one small carry-on suitcase. And my brother was like, yeah, so today I bought a spider bot, an infinity gauntlet, a web tech band, and the web slingers. And I was like, how are we going home with this shit? That night I was like stressing because I had to like redo my entire suitcase just so it would fit his spider bot in it. Not my shit, his shit. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So that was cool.
So what merchandise did you buy for yourself then? Because I know you walked away with something. You had pictures of something, and I was like, he didn't get that, did he?
So I had to. So each day my dad was like, okay, you guys can get one free thing. So in Universal Hollywood, I got a Secret Life of Pets shirt. Disneyland, I got a Disneyland sweater. And then here I got like this Avengers Campus jacket, which I like refuse to take off because I miss it so much. For myself, the money I'd been saving for this trip alone, I bought the web tech band because I was like, well, I gotta because it's gimmicky and I live for gimmicky shit. I like love it. Like I don't have a wand, but I have like 5 of the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers. Like I love stuff that interacts with the land, and I know the lightsabers don't. But like web tech band was cool. And then I got the add-on where it like actually like it shoots out a web and then it goes back and it shoots out, which is cool. So it was 2 different ways to do web slingers. And then I got the replica web slingers, which were also cool. And the entire day I got back, I had them on like my wrist for like 2 hours, just like pretending to sling webs because I was like, I miss it. But the main thing that I was like, God, I don't need these. They're $60. There are these goggles that they sell, and they're like,
there it
you
is.
put them on, and they're LEDs, and they make it look like you have Spider-Man eyes, and they can like squint or wink or like have swirls in them. I was like, I don't need these. And we're also about to leave. The park's about to close. And I want to buy them anyways. And I did. And as soon as I bought them, I was so happy that I bought them because I was laughing so much. I was like, these are so stupid, but they're perfect. But halfway through buying all this stuff, my brother's going through this entire like shopping spree. And I'm holding his spider bot in my hand. I'm like, oh, we're not going on Incredicoaster again today. So thankfully we got to do about 3 times. So I was really happy about that. But I was also like, damn, I really want to end the night with that. So he was like, I'm sorry, we can like return it. I'm like, no, we're not returning. Like, it's fine. So I think he did that on purpose because he knew the only ride that would let that stuff on would be web slingers. So I'm like, you know what? It's fine. You're not going to be here for a while.
Did you see the much better version of Fantasmic or World of Color or any
Neither
parades?
of those were open.
Nothing
was open.
Wow.
That's why I want to go back, is because like I've refused to watch any videos of World of Color until I can see it in person.
And for those of you who don't know, most of those in California only run mostly on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. So it's not during the middle of the week.
They like had a projection
Orlando.
show on the castle.
Yeah, the easy stuff.
But no fireworks.
Yeah. Okay. That's a really good trip report. Anything else overall that you want to talk about from your trip to SoCal?
I think my favorite realization, my favorite park will always be Hollywood Studios, and I miss old MGM so much, but being in DCA, there was a part of it, and it felt for like a second that I was back in MGM, like near like the back lot with like the Streets of America, and they have like this like Coke refreshment stand. I'm like, it felt like everything Hollywood Studios wants to be and everything that it used to be. And it was like this perfect park. And if that was like my local park, I'd be there every day.
Very good.
Also,
guys,
Raising Canes is a new thing.
And Raising Canes. Guys, any other questions from you? I'm saying no's.
No, that's pretty. Did you do Goofy Sky School?
No, we didn't. I've been on Primeval World.
All right. How dare you?
So I've been to Paris. Jalen's been to Tokyo. What's next on your list then, Mateo? What international park would you like to go to next?
Tokyo is definitely the first one that's going to happen because I want to go for their Fantasy Springs area. I am so invested in the idea of Tokyo doing a Tangled ride and the thought of them doing a Frozen ride that won't be frozen ever after. So, like a good one. So I'm very excited, of course, to see Tokyo in general. I'm really worried of how much money I'm going to spend on merch and food over there. Yeah. It's just like, it's so much more different than I would be used to from like just going from Disney World to Disneyland.
Yeah. Well, very good. Tommy will be in the States in Orlando. We're all meeting up in May. And then we're kind of sort of planning a Paris trip for all of us to meet up later on, maybe next year or something like that. So as our first guest on the E-Ticket Report in a very long time, welcome to the family. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it was so great being able to follow along your trip with you. What's your @ on Twitter, by the way?
My @ is _justmateo_. You can find me on Twitter over there. Probably tweeting about Bluey, a show for preschoolers.
You and my daughter have something to talk about on our next trip.
Award-winning programming.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, thanks for Mateo for coming on. A great report. We loved following along with you. That's all we have for this week's show. We will see you all next time.